Welcome to Cantina Vizsla. For the safety of the bartenders and any other patrons, remember to keep all arms, legs, tentacles, or any other extremities you may have to yourself at all times. So come right in, grab a drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Coming to you from the Panic Room in the crap part of the cantina, I'm Sparrow, and with me, as always, is a man who some say is the real reason that they need $8.6 billion to build a wall. All I know is I call him Stan.
Man, you're going to need a lot more than that. Seen enough Kool-Aid commercials growing up to know how to handle a wall.
Run through. Oh, yeah.
Bust through it, yep.
Just load them up full of sugar and let them go.
That's it. That is it. Man, we set our clocks back and ended up missing a week.
Yeah, we quiet week. CG took a week off. We kind of took a week off. Yeah, kind of filled out that outline and just the filler just wasn't there.
Yeah. Well, the real reason is guess what episode it is.
Guess what episode? Guess what? I see it on the outline, so I know what it is, but everybody else, it is the 69th episode.
It is. Hey, guess what day of the year it is?
What day of the year it is?
It's the 69th day of the year.
Oh, man, okay. He's been planning this out for weeks.
Yeah, that's the true reason I didn't want to record last week is, we just had to do it now.
He just wanted the paired up double 69 on there.
That is it. Oh, man, my life, it's in shambles. Oh, what have you been up to?
Oh, man, I've been fighting this horrible weather I've been having up here in PA. It's been a glorious high of 30 degrees, 35 degrees just about every day, and a low of 20 or 15 to 20 every morning for the last, 3 weeks. So I am over it. I am ready for spring to hit. I'm ready for it to be nice and warm out and just be done with this.
Well, it is hitting here. It's about in the 70s now, but pollen is on the way. Allergies are already starting to act up. It's going to be 100 degrees before we know it.
I will gladly take that over the 30 degrees because waking up in the morning and I'm like, all right, time to get moving, time to get to work, and go out to my car covered in frost, need whole extra steps. It is absolutely horrendous.
Yeah, and that's going to be even worse.
Yeah, but it's getting there. But, I mean, other than that, watch and really excited about SpaceX, their demo flight for their crew capsule, docking up with the International Space Station, returning back. So I've been following that, going through a whole ordeal with this whole home automation stuff and this hub that I had. They're discontinuing, basically supporting that hub. So I had to go through, buy a new hub, figure out how to reconnect everything to the new hub, which didn't work. So I had to hook up the old hub because apparently you have to unpair everything from the old hub before it'll pair up with anything new.
Which hub did you go with?
I went with the Samsung SmartThings hub. Okay,
that's what I use. It's cool.
Yeah, it was going through. I got rid of an old Lowe's Iris system, which you go through any of your scenes or anything that you go through and pair up, or any, hey, when I'm home, do this. Basically, that Iris system made you buy a monthly subscription, and I went on all these other ones, and they're like, yeah, that's free to do. And I'm like, well, no wonder they aren't supporting it anymore. No one was buying their equipment or anything because you have to pay for the simplest things where everybody else it's free.
Yeah, I don't want microtransactions to turn my lights off.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it felt like. And I was like, I have enough microtransactions in my life. I don't need any more. So
you got to get that your office lights to 7 stars before you can dim them.
That's right. In Gear 12 Plus if you want them to switch colors.
Right.
So yeah, that was a whole ordeal because I'm like, oh, plug it in. I can just repair it up and
having to dig everything back out to unpair everything to repair it. It's been a mess. But other than that, did that, working on cleaning up my office, doing the shelving and everything, ending up breaking pieces of equipment, so that's on hold until I can get some more hardware and everything and actually thread the pipe that I'm working on. And going through, get really excited because we're very, very, very close to Game of Thrones starting back up.
Yes, the trailer came out. Cannot wait.
Yeah, I watched the trailer, and one of the other friends that I have watches Game of Thrones religiously, and her and I were talking, and she's like, man, everybody looks so down in the dumps. There's not a single, like, happy expression. I'm like, no, there are happy expressions. The only happy expressions are the Starks.
Right.
When they see the dragons, they see each other. All of them actually do have a glimpse of joy. Granted, it's only a short period of time, but no one else in that trailer looks very happy at all.
And if anybody needs at least one episode of happiness, it's the Starks.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, they've just had so many seasons of this being crapped on.
So many seasons? What season haven't they been crapped on?
No, very true.
Maybe the last season?
True.
No. No, John at the very end there, that last battle, that would kind of qualify. But yeah, everything else past that, Arya loses her sight, Ned gets his head chopped off, the Red Wedding. Yeah, it's pretty much every season ends with a Stark tragedy. So right. I'm hoping for a turnaround there. But that's what I've been up to all the last couple of weeks here. What have you been up to?
I have been playing a lot of Destiny. They just started a new season, so I was trying to wrap up last season's events. We're starting the new one, so there's all kinds of new things to do. But this isn't a Destiny show, so I'm not going to get too far into that. Still watching Resistance. If you've been sleeping on this one, it is good. And I still got to see tonight's episode, which I think is going to really kind of bring it toward the end and catch us up to The Force Awakens. And the show's really just coming into its own, so I'm really liking that. But other than that, not a whole lot. Nothing too exciting. We got a whole lot to cover, so I'm not going to bore you with my shenanigans.
Well, until we get to Celebration news, I'm sure, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I thought. There we go. There's Dan back into the game. But yeah, I've been trying to keep up with Resistance. I think I need to watch tonight's episode and then last week's episode, but I have been getting caught up, and yes, it is getting much, much better. So let's get into the game here. What have you got anything done since?
Yeah,
I mean, we've had 2 weeks. I sure hope you got something done, right?
I did. I've been working on my J characters. I am farming alphabetically.
All right.
I don't know. I got a Django to 7 stars finally. You can't do anything with him yet because he needs some gear, but he's tempting. He's real tempting. And got Juhani to 7 stars.
All right.
I am almost done with the Revan Panic, and I unlocked a ship. And we'll talk about that in a little bit.
All right. Yeah, Django is a very intriguing character, and I've seen a lot of different ways people are actually using him, countering Night Sisters and other teams very easily with Django and Boba in it. So, yeah, definitely seems like a character worth putting that gear on.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I did finally get some stuff done also. Everybody knows I've been working on a couple teams here, so I finally did get Jolie to Gear 12.
Nice.
Kira also to Gear 12. So that gives me my Revan team and my Scoundrel team all at Gear 12, which very happy about. Got my complete teams there, can kind of go through and round out a couple other teams or start building a separate team. Not sure where I'm going with that yet. But
I'm jealous of that Gear 12 Kira. Mine is looking at me like, hey, why don't you give me 3 stun guns?
That's right. Oh, actually, I think she needs 4.
I've got the super stun gun left and 2 just plain ones.
Yeah. she's a rough one there at Gear 11 to Gear 12. But, yeah, glad I got those two teams done and trying to figure out where I want to go through as far as farming goes now that I have that done. I'm going to hold off for a couple weeks, I think, before I make a full commitment on which way I'm going to go with this. Mainly because, I mean, like you said, you got Johanny done, but I did get Darkside Bastila. She is 7 stars, so a little bit closer there.
Yeah, and looks like she's going to pair well with Gamorrean Guard when he comes out.
That's right. Go through at the very very worst. You go through and kick her to the side and put her with like Emperor Palpatine or something. Seems like you'll be able to split up Sith teams very shortly, just like the Jedi with Revan and Bastila leads. Should be able to separate them also.
Yeah, I think so.
So other than that, I mean, I got finally had an attacker here in Grand Arena, or someone put a defense, so I was able to finish out my Han Grand Arena challenge. So that one's done. I'm down to General Kenobi, which is pretty exciting. Mainly exciting because I get those Gear 12 plus pieces.
Yeah, that's a nice little incentive there to do those. We really need some more of those.
Yeah, that's exactly why I was kind of pushing for that, and then now we can kind of put that Jedi and Bounty Hunter one and just can plug away on those as I move along within the game. And then, I mean, it used to be a bigger deal about hitting a GP milestone. Right now, it kind of feels like a detriment and kind of pains me to say this, but I did hit 4.2 million GP. Yeah, I don't know if that's an alarm. I don't know if that's a level up. I don't know anymore.
Yeah, I'm hoping they can. Well, there's news that they'll be adjusting this when the new matchmaking comes out, so hopefully it'll be an achievement again. I like seeing numbers go up.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, mine isn't too bad. I have a little bit of inflation because I wanted everything Gear 7 and level 85 for any eventualities of panic farms happening, needing gear, or right now these territory war bonuses are falling into those hands very nicely with me doing that, but it does hurt me a little bit in Grand Arena. But yeah, that's what I did the last couple of weeks, and I'm real happy about that, and I'm getting there. Seems like I'm in a good spot, but there's a couple things that do have me nervous for where I placed all my chips, and expectations of what was going to happen. But before we get there, let's get into your Star Wars news. I know you're super excited about it because Celebration's coming close, and a lot of the Star Wars news I know is all centered around that because that is the next thing that's happening for Star Wars.
Yeah, we're a month out, and if we haven't got it by now, we're probably not going to get it until Celebration. But a lot of stuff going on. Big happy birthday shout out to Oscar Isaac, plays Poe Dameron, and he turned 40. So whatever sound effect you want to give him. Yeah, good enough. I'm sure he'll hit me up on Discord if you didn't like that.
That's right.
Yeah. Let's see. This is 2 weeks worth of news, so you've probably seen a lot of this already. We had that Topher Grace Star Wars Always trailer that came out. It was pretty cool. It was pretty much all the movies edited together in one big trailer. So if you hadn't seen that yet, go check it out. It's pretty neat. It's the dude from That 70s Show. You don't know who Topher Grace is. Let's see. The big news, Galaxy Edge, the Disneyland and Disney World park, has got opening dates. Disneyland will be May 31st, and Disney World will open on August 29th. So you can go ride the Resistance ride and the Millennium Falcon ride and see Hondo Onaka. Do you see this dude?
Yeah, my first thought was, man, how far has Disney come with their animatronics? Because this guy looks like they literally just have him placed up in an outfit like he's straight out of the movie or Clone Wars. And his movements are so crisp and everything. It is absolutely amazing.
I want him in my house to be my best friend. He is amazing looking.
Yeah, I think we need to start a GoFundMe for Ednar to go through and actually make that happen. But
I was talking to him on Discord about it. I think everybody on Discord messaged him about Robo Hondo. But that was so awesome.
I mean, everybody's first reaction was like Hondo. My first reaction was the animatronics, and now getting into our podcast, thinking of what's happening within the game. So, Galaxy Edge is coming out. They just showed Hondo as a crucial part, well, not really a crucial part, but basically your guide as you wait in line going into the ride. Do you think they're going to have CG incorporate that into when they open up Galaxy Edge? And maybe we get a Hondo and Naka into the game for that occasion.
That would be pretty cool.
I don't know whether that would be May or that would be August, but it would fit into the Clone Wars era and tie into Galaxy Edge opening up.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
So
you can see that happening. Yeah, I think 100% he will be in this game at some point. You know, they've got a couple more years to fill and kill. He's definitely going to be in there.
A couple more years. They have a 5-year. They have a 5-year plan. What are you talking about?
An audacious 5-year plan.
That's right. He's got to be in there somewhere.
And
just like Saw Gerrera.
No one is more audacious than Hondo and Naka. So put him in there.
That's right. So I'm going to call it right now. I'm going to go through either there in May or August. Hondo is going to come into the game to tie into Galaxy Edge opening at Disney.
Okay, let's take it a step further. Now, the story of the ride is he is borrowing the Millennium Falcon to do some smuggling runs, and you're going to be a crew member on it, and that's the gist of the ride. So, not only should we get Hondo in the game, we really need another another one. We need Hondo's Millennium Falcon in the game.
So what you're saying is you want to run a full fleet of Millennium Falcons?
Yes, I want all of them with 3 more on reserve.
Oh man, that I don't know if the game can handle that.
Probably not. Probably just crash phones everywhere. Oh, but let's see. We're talking about Celebration. Got a lot of news coming out of that. CG is confirmed to be at Celebration. So hopefully I'll be able to meet up with them. That would be pretty cool. And again, I'm looking forward to the disappointment when I introduce myself as Stan from Cantina Vizsla, and they're like, who? What?
Well, I have a feeling I'm going to be going through and be like, Stan, here's my ally code. Let them know I was there.
Yeah.
I will gladly take, like last year, those free crystals if they're doing that.
Yeah, the only thing I'm worried about is the Jedi Fallen Order premiere will be at Celebration. It's going to be on Saturday. It's the only day I don't have tickets for it. That's going to be my go out and tour Chicago day. So I'm hoping CG doesn't just piggyback on top of that, and it's just a EA Star Wars show. I'm kind of scared that's how it's going to be, and I'm going to miss it. But hopefully it'll be on the floor at some point, and I can catch up with them then. But Fallen Order is looking to be pretty good, too. The writer from KOTOR 2 and Fallout New Vegas, both very good games, is working on it. So at least a little bit of a pedigree there.
Yeah, I have seen that, and that it does look really good as far as the writing, and just the overall game does feel like it's good. But I don't know. It seemed like that with Battlefront 2 and other games also, so we'll have to see until it gets in the actual player's hands.
The thing is, though, like the history of Star Wars games has been so rocky lately. All this game has to do is be out, be competent, and not patently offensive, and people will rejoice.
Yeah, it's so hit or miss. You know, they're going to find something to complain about no matter what. It could be the best game in the world, and then people are going to complain about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's see. Last little bit of Celebration news. They announced some animation panels. They'll have 3 of them, one for Clone Wars that will be Filoni and guests with a preview of the new season. I'm definitely going to try to make that one. Then I'll have a panel for Rebels, which I believe that's on Saturday, so I won't be able to make it. Which, unfortunately, I do like that show. And one for Resistance, so I may try to make. And the best news, Jar Jar Binks, Ahmed Best, will be at Celebration. This is his first one. He's kind of been back in the news because of all the the backlash and his brush with suicide because of that. So I'm really hoping he just gets the biggest standing ovation in the world when he comes out. He's going to be at the 20th anniversary panel for the Phantom Menace, and I just hope that plate erupts for him. He needs some love for the Star Wars community.
Yeah, for sure. Almost as much as Rose Tico.
Yeah, she hasn't been confirmed yet. They've got a few more guests, including one more Phantom Menace guest they're going to announce Wednesday. So I'm kind of hoping for Hayden Christensen or maybe even Samuel L. Jackson would be pretty cool. Also, the first celebration, Aaron Kellyman, Enfys Nest, is going to be there. So that'd be pretty cool.
Or as Urza would put it, the little firecracker.
Right, yeah. She has her... I'm staying away. And I guess last but not least, they showed some footage of Episode 9 was shown to Disney shareholders. I'm kind of shocked this hasn't leaked to the web yet, but its descriptions are out there. And we're not going to talk about it here to avoid spoilers, but just be aware. Details are coming out.
Yeah, maybe that... To me, it just basically leads up that you probably should be seeing a trailer or something at Celebration. Should be released sometime right around then.
I would think so. We'll probably have the Episode 9 panel on Friday, I would guess, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I'm ramping up for it. I'm getting all my pins and stuff for trade. I'm gonna try to get a bunch of swag and get a bunch of stuff for the show too. Any kind of extra stuff I can get to give out. We'll do giveaways and whatever on the show here. So that should be pretty fun too. And if you're going, hit me up on Discord. Let me know. We'll do a little impromptu meetup.
Yeah. What Stan said. Stan wants to meet everybody up. I mean, I'll have to find a time. We'll figure something out too.
Yeah, maybe I could FaceTime you while I'm there or something.
That's right. But all right. We had the Celebration fun. 2 weeks worth of news. All leads up to this. The calendar for March is in the game. So we had basically C-3PO came back to kick things off. Hopefully everybody got their C-3PO the second time around. I mean, Chewbacca does not play nice in that event. I can tell you that much. And
it does not.
The Ewoks, hopefully you got your Murder Bears geared up enough to be able to get C-3PO. And congratulations for everybody that did. I'll even get to be a Gear 12 for it also. So congratulations if you got your C-3PO up there.
Yeah, that gold dude's pretty good.
That's right.
Yeah, well, let's go back to the beginning of the month. Since we missed it last week, the March logging character was Sith Marauder, and we had a whole lot of speculation of what that could mean. I think the biggest one is obviously Darth Revan coming to the game.
Yeah. Oh man, I first thought that. I don't even know what that word was. I first saw this and was very nervous. Like, extremely nervous, because I went through and I'm like, KOTOR characters focusing on bounty hunter ships have not touched Sith Marauder. Sith Marauder is my last Cantina farm. Haven't touched them yet. Sith ships, haven't touched them yet. Mm-hmm. So this made me very nervous up until this week.
Right. Yeah, we saw this, and I had a little outline here. My speculation was kind of what you were thinking, was Sith ships were going to be needed for either a capital ship event or the Ebon Hawk. And this is before it was even announced. And I even had a thing on here, look for Galactic Chase to return, thinking they'd bring it back for the Emperor's shuttle, so you'd have another Sith ship to use for the Ebon Hawk. Well, turned out I was kind of half right.
Yeah, that's where my thought was too. I was like going through, like, first thought was, all right, this is leading up to another Sith month. I'm in good shape. And then I started looking at everything. And I was like, Sith ships. I'm in deep, deep trouble if I need that, because didn't even try to get the Palpatine's shuttle And like I said, not farming them at all. So I'm feeling better now, but still a little nervous that might be the case.
Yeah, maybe so. But yeah, I do think that they'll be needed for a capital ship, but I don't know. The timing seems weird right now. I'm still farming them. I still think we're going to need the ships for something in the relatively near future, but maybe not right away. So I think you still have a little bit of wiggle room there.
I sure hope so, because they aren't going to get farmed anytime soon, because I have my bounty hunter ships to finish up first.
Right.
But yeah, so that was the first thing. What else do we got on the calendar watch before we get into some of the other stuff that happened in the game?
Okay, so this week we're recording on the 10th. We are in the middle of the Galactic Chase and the C-3PO event. We got Territory War starting. This will have some bonuses associated with it, so get your Geos ready, because they wreck shop. Our kind of quick aside, our guild has strongly recommended to gear up Poggle, and seeing all the Poggles hitting the gear just feels so wrong. They're hitting a little guild chat for the gearing up. It's funny. We're all just suffering together over it.
Yeah, Geonosians are just, I don't know. I haven't touched them yet. I'm kind of, I'm going through them like I'll gear them up at the last possible minute. Oh man, I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad of a stretch whenever the Geos were ship meta, but now that they've kind of fallen off of there, it's not quite as palatable.
They go through and post like, oh, they only need like 2 stun guns and 2 Carpantes, and that's it. So they really aren't that bad. And I look at my gear and I'm like, I don't really have that. And what I do have saved, I was planning on going to Gear 12 and Gear 12 plus pieces for my arena team and some of the other teams that I'm working on. I was like, I don't know about this.
Right now, the chances of a arena meta shift are pretty high. So I'm not going to waste any gear that's going to put me behind an arena for the chance of getting 1 extra Zeta or 25 extra gear pieces in a grand arena.
Well, I'm not even looking at it like that. I mean, you're going through with the arena meta change. I'm thinking it more, all right, I mean, if I was able to get the character and the arena meta changes, no big deal. I can wait a week or 2, even 3 weeks, as long as I have the character unlocked. My big thing is, say this event comes out and you need a character geared, and a gear, say 7, 8, maybe even 9 character does not cut it. Say they have to be gear 10, gear 11. If you don't have any gear saved up and you're just going through because you went through and used them on Geonosians or clones or something like that, and then this event rolls around and you need those KOTOR characters geared, you are effed. Bend over, because that gear, that crystal amount that you have to spend on that gear is going to be a lot higher than those shards if that happens and you don't have any gear stockpiled in case that happens.
Right.
And that's what I'm more nervous about. I'm like, I could, and it's not going to hurt if I can get that character unlocked, but I'm really nervous that the gear requirement is going to be higher for this next event than it was for Revan. And that's what I'm really nervous about, and I want to have some gear reserves set aside in case that happens.
Yeah, wouldn't hurt. Maybe a few extra Zetas too.
I got a few extra Zetas.
Wait. Out the rabbit hole, back to the calendar.
No, I like the pipe.
Yeah. We got a credit heist coming up on the 12th. We've got Chimera and Thrawn coming back on the 14th. We are reaching the end of the quarter, so they are going to jam-pack a lot of stuff in here. That's going to go on till about the 20th, where the calendar gets suspiciously empty.
Yeah, which we were kind of calling out, last month? Pretty much the start of February, when we figured out that February wasn't going to be a Sith month. We quickly shifted gears to, well, you were saying the beginning of March. I was leaning towards that middle to end of March based on when Karth and Juhani went free to play, and it seems to be gearing up almost pretty much perfectly for that.
I was, maybe CG is listening and learning, and we're giving us a little more panic time than we were used to get. So that's good. I've been kind of underestimating the time it's taking, which I guess is good. If you can prepare by then, great. I've probably spent a few crystals on packs I maybe didn't need to, but that's fine. I'm just ready to get these farms done with.
And I mean, for what we have seen history-wise from CG, yes, that is absolutely the case. I would have expected the announcement to be this week, the event to be at the end of the week.
Yeah, well, they said they were going to give us a week warning before events come out. So I kind of think we're going to get the puzzle either the 11th or the 12th, which we pretty much know the answer already, but I think we'll get the reveal on the 13th, or what the answer is, with possibly kit reveal 14th or 15th, if not that day, with the event starting on the 20th. Again, a couple things line up there. We've got the end of the Thrawn event. We've got the end of the Separatist packs in the shop, which kind of lines up with that as well. So a lot of things lining up for around that time. So that's what I'm gunning for now.
Well, that, and I honestly think CG has been listening, and just that one extra week for Revan would have made everybody a lot happier, and that was the big thing, which they kind of dug in their heels and said that was the date we're going to go through, and all the criticism was not that they're doing it, just everybody felt it was a week too soon. So it almost feels like this event is geared that 1 week later for everybody.
Yeah, I can see that. Again, nothing is free, so if you're not going to get it with the crystals or refreshes, you're going to get it with the gear.
Yeah, and I could see it be a combination of both, needing a little bit more gear because of that extra week. And I mean, they're still going to go through, and the only people that are really going to have all these characters start up ready to go is if they were farming it day one with at least 2 refreshes a day. You're getting a lot of crystals out of players by doing that, and not everybody's going to hit that perfectly. So I think they're looking at a small majority of the people that are going to be ready without having to pay for anything.
All right. Well, let's see. Anything else on the calendar you want to bring up? I think... Not specifically, mainly because we have it listed down here because they did have some information as far as newer things within the calendar that I want to go over, but we'll get into that because it's more of a future setup than an actual event. Okay. So, all right. Yeah, let's get into the news here. We talked about Sith Marauder being the login character, what our thoughts were about that. The next big thing that we got this week was the Ebon Hawk hitting the game in a galactic chase. Now, yeah, that surprised me. I did not expect to see it in this form. Which, yeah, I'm not complaining though. I kind of like these. Yeah, I don't mind these either. It seems like, I know you went through and kind of put a note down here that more profitable than the ship marquee packs and the regular marquee events. I kind of agree with that. I just think people as a marquee event didn't care about ships, weren't going to buy it no matter what. So by doing it this way, people are willing to go through and spend a few refreshes and buy these energy packs to unlock the ship or get it to 5 or 6 stars possibly, because they're getting gear and other character shards along with it. So I think they're seeing more people invest crystals for these galactic chases than normal marquee packs, just because getting one character or one ship and then needing the characters to go along with it isn't appealing to the player base to actually purchase. Yeah, I definitely see that. So I'm working on this. Where are you? You said you unlocked a new ship. I'm taking it this is the new ship you unlocked? I did, yeah. I unlocked him. I bought a bunch of refreshes a few days before the event went live, saved up some energy. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. Bought the ship pack, and I'm sitting at 30 of 65 right now. So he is at 4 stars. Hopefully I can get the other 35 shards, get him up to 5 to unlock the second tier of the reinforcement, which really is where that ship's going to make its money. So I'm going to do what I can to get that. Where are you looking?
So I am farming up carts. I went through getting rid of Darkside Bastila on my farming list. It allowed me a little bit more crystal cushion than I have been seeing. So I've been buying a little bit more refreshes for the ship currency. I'm sitting at 50 of 80 right now. So I was kind of had the goal of just on unlock. So I've been going through making sure I get at least 16 shards a day for this event for an unlock. And have been pretty much spot on for that. And that's all I'm hoping for. I do agree with you that I kind of wish I could get it to 5 stars, but I'm not going to overcommit resources right now for this ship, just for the potential of it going through and being useful.
Yeah. Well, fortunately for you, if you decide in a week or so you really want that ship up, we have a pack for you. So maybe this is kind of a combination of the two events, because we still have the marquee packs out there. So for $12.99, you can get the blueprints that will drop at anywhere from 5 to 330 shards. So that's an option out there. I may actually pick up one of these, mostly for as sad as it is, the ship Omegas. Those things are so hard to come by. You see these dropping anywhere, it's like, gets a little more tempting.
Yeah, it is a rough grind on those, but overall, I mean, I'm not complaining about the Galactic Chase. I do like the addition of the $12.99 Gambler pack and putting the ship, what was it, $20 pack?
No, there's no $20 pack for the Ebon Hawk.
Okay. So it's just a $12.99?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I do like seeing that there. Allows people to actually go through and purchase and get this ship up a different way if they would like to spend that a little bit more. So I do like the combination. It does bring down the price, believe it or not, probably a little bit.
Yeah, and it's a decent ship. We can go through the kit real quick. It is a light side cargo ship, Old Republic support. Pilots are Karth Onasi and T3 M4. The main kind of feature of this one is it's an anti-target lock ship. So, a lot of teams rely on target lock, and this is a pretty good counter for that. I haven't seen it live in the game anywhere. I've watched a couple of the Theorycraft videos that are out there, and it seems to have a place on the Millennium Falcon team or even an anti-Millennium Falcon team. But for me personally, I can't find a spot for him just yet.
It's basically, if you go through and use Cassian's ship, this would replace Cassian's ship, in my opinion, in a Millennium Falcon team right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Karth is a good character. He is really showing some usefulness in Grand Arena. I went up against a Karth team with Mission and Zalbar, and they rocked my world. So they pretty much shut down that whole round for me. So I'm looking at putting a Karth team together, but anyway, I digress. Back to the kit. Basics: heavy laser turret. You're going to deal physical damage and to a target enemy and attack again. For each attack, you will grant another random buffed ally 15% turn meter, so it's up to 30. Special 1, Potent Pilots. On a 3-turn cooldown, you're going to deal physical damage to a target enemy and dispel all buffs on them. This attack deals 20% more damage for each ally with Chaff. It can't be evaded by Sith enemies. Chaff means you are immune to target lock. So that's a pretty cool little thing. If you're not sure what Chaff is, that's kind of an anti-heat-seeking missile countermeasure. It sprays out the kind of like a flare.
Yeah, basically a whole bunch of little metal shards, hot metal shards that go through and draw the attention away from either a missile or I think they would also use it for radar too.
Yeah, I think so. Would kind of scramble the radar some. So the animation for that is actually pretty cool. You can see him coming out the side. So Special 2, attached to T3 and 4 scramble scanners. Deal physical damage to a target enemy and inflict buff immunity for 2 turns. Dispel target lock from all allies and grant them chaff for 2 turns. This attack gains 20% critical chance for each other cargo ship ally. So again, with a Millennium Falcon, Ghost, Phantom lineup, this is pretty good. There's going to be a lot of extra critical chance. And that buff immunity is huge going up against Houndstooth.
Yeah, like I said, it seems like a very good replacement ship for... or if you're using Cassian's U-Wing currently, it would definitely plug into that lineup very well and be very useful.
All right, so finishing up the unique critical cargo, the Ebon Hawk gains foresight for 1 turn. Each time it is critical hit, it has 15% defense for each other ally, doubled for cargo ship allies. That's a lot of defense. All allies have plus 20% potency, and the Ebon Hawk gains 30% turn meter each time it scores a critical hit. It's hardware, special delivery. You enter the battle, you're going to dispel target lock from all allies and grant them chaff for 2 turns. Dispel all buffs on all enemies and inflict evasion down on them for 2 turns, which can't be evaded. That's a good reinforcement.
Yes, and that is the reasoning that I'm saying you kind of needed at 5 stars to be useful, because you need that second upgrade for the reinforcement ability to really make it useful for the battles in the current ship meta.
Right. Developer had some notes on it, which I do like when they add these. They want this to be a plug-and-play character, so they put them on some teams with Tarkin, with Mace. They showed some example teams. You can see this on the forums.
It looks like a solid ship. Nothing too special. Now, my first reaction when I saw this ship was, this seems like the ship that would have went along with Annie's ETA-2 when it came out in November. Because at that time, the meta was still target lock, with Biggs needing to wipe off target lock. It fit into that month. I can see why they would pull it, because requiring 2 characters that were only pay to play currently at that time frame also made sense. So I can see why they actually moved it out, but it does seem like it's a few months too late in the current ship meta to be as useful as it could be, or could have been.
Yeah, and that's the problem. That's the problem when you have such a overwhelming meta. You know, people just get stuck in it, and it's hard to break things up.
Yeah, and that Millennium Falcon meta is solid at like 87%.
Yeah. I think we really need a new capital ship to break things up. Hopefully we get that soon.
I don't even think they need a new capital ship, just a couple more of these tweaks, because, Thrawn can clear out Houndstooth, and not so much Tarkin, but obviously a Mace team, but you need a couple more of these plug-and-play characters for other factions to make them useful to go through and be able to get around the Millennium Falcon to create a rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I can see they're slowly working on it, but just to me, that was my initial reaction when I saw the Ebon Hawk come out and saw the kit. It was like, man, this seems like it's a few months too late.
Yeah, maybe so. Thematically, it fits right now with the new event, so yes. It's cool. There were some other changes that came with the update to put the Ebon Hawk into the game. They reverted Jango Fett's attack sounds. They tried to improve his blaster sounds, but didn't.
Failed.
They weren't satisfied with the results.
AKA failed.
Right. They got B1 Battle Droid and B2 Super Battle Droid now have sound effects when they're defeated. They consolidated and clarified many buff descriptions when you tap and hold a character in battle. And the daily activity. Oh, this is a good one. The daily activities change. Instead of doing your light side and dark side hard battles separately, now you do them all at just one.
Yep.
So you don't have to split it up. So a lot of us were having to bounce back and forth and waste energy. This is a great change. Love it.
Yep, that seemed very good. And you kind of skipped over one thing here with they did one other thing with the Ebon Hawk. They had a little Twitter teaser trailer.
Oh, yes.
And at the very end, this is kind of what made me go through, and the sweating about Sith ships kind of went away, because the Ebon Hawk opens up, and no other than HK-47 walks down the ramp and says, "Statement, ready to serve, Master." Oh, so excited. That basically leads me to kind of a little bit, one definitely conclusion. The second one is still kind of, it's getting a lot more solid. First conclusion was, well, HK is definitely getting a rework here. We saw a Zeta happen on the test account. We saw that little leak. So it definitely seems like that's going to be happening, hopefully here next week. Second would be, he's saying, ready to serve, Master. Now, his Master's Revan. Man, solidifying that, but he could be referring to you as the player that he's ready to serve as far as on your team. Not 100% sure which way they were going for that, or they were kind of doing like the double meaning and kind of setting it out there that it does kind of mean both.
I could see him saying it means both, but come on. Revan is on the way.
Yeah.
There's so much smoke now, like the house is on fire. I mean, come on.
Yeah, this made me feel so much better about where I was farming, and not that I was going to completely miss out and not really sure when I was going to be able to shift my farming into these Sith ships. That, so much better. Was able to dump a little bit more crystals as far as refreshes go because of that. But
right. Yeah. And did you see the statement that SB Crumb made about HK's rework?
I don't think I did, unless it was something about that he wasn't going to go through and kind of make droids meta.
Yeah, that was it. He's getting a rework, but don't expect him to be the savior of the droids. So I think a lot of people were.
So he may not be the savior of the droids, but he just made a clear statement. He's ready to serve Master, so he could have very heavy Darth Revan synergy. So it could be like the Triumphant, where you really don't split up Scion, Nihilus, and Traya separately once you have all three of them together. You really don't split them up. It's really...
That's kind of what
So I'm thinking Revan and HK are going to be a pair now, kind of like Chase and everything.
I see that. Maybe calling some assists or taking damage for him or something like that.
Yeah, so he might not be droid meta, but he may become meta himself just because of the characters that he has synergy with. And trying to remember other kits that pair well, that can they write his kit mentioning and having such strong synergy to like Revan, and not give away that Revan's coming out? You know what I mean? Can his kit go through? Can he have synergy and not mention it in his kit? That's what I'm trying to say. Is that possible?
Not.
So where we're thinking he might come out next week, he might not come out until we have all the teasers and everything and confirmation that Darth Revan is coming out, and then we might see HK's rework. So we might not see him until a couple days before the Revan event, just be possible Revan event. I keep saying that like that's a certainty. Feels like a certainty, but we aren't sure.
Yeah, it's like whenever like the news reports on a trial that hasn't concluded yet, they have to say alleged every time. I kind of feel like that. The alleged Revan event coming up next week.
Yeah, it just, man. I don't know how they go through and do that, but it feels like they're going to pair up very well, and I would like to see HK's kit sooner rather than later, but the more we're discussing it, the more I'm leaning towards we're going to get his rework as late as possible, just because his kit's going to have a lot of references to Revan in it.
Yeah, well, quite possibly.
And it pretty much, this kit or this statement and the things that we've been seeing kind of leads me well off of Darth Malik anymore. I was hoping Darth Malik, but it definitely does not seem like that anymore. Definitely seems like Revan completely, and my hopes for Malik to come first and then Darth Revan seems to have been squashed fairly thoroughly.
Well, I think that people just really kind of want to be Darth Revan because they want the Old Republic stuff just to be over with. I mean, we've got HK, we've got Jedi Revan, Darth Revan. At this point, they've about squeezed all the juice out of this KOTOR orange they're going to get.
I think that's only because they didn't space it out well enough. We've been running pretty much a year and a half solid now with KOTOR references, which they probably could have split it up a little bit better as far as meta goes.
Yeah, maybe.
Because we go from a Darth Traya meta, Darth Nihilus meta, into a Darth Nihilus Darth Sion meta, into a Traya meta, into a Jedi Knight Revan meta. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Right. Bring on the Tusken meta.
That's right. Single file.
Yeah. Well, we did get some other good news over the past few weeks. They came out and clarified some of the upcoming Territory War and Galactic Arena events. Probably the best news is the character bans for Territory Wars are gone.
Yeah. They did mention this. I don't think this was a shock to people. And basically their explanation was exactly what we said when we were going through and saying what we thought about this, that we were going to let it play out, but it leaves a very bad taste in our mouths banning characters because there's in some cases, a lot of money and at the very least, a lot of time and resources spent on gearing up those characters, and not being able to use them in an event is very bitter, leaves a very bitter taste in the player's mouth. And basically they acknowledged that, and that they were going to find different ways to break up these solid walls of consistent teams that they've been seeing in Territory Wars was the goal. And they said they're basically going to find different ways to accomplish that goal rather than just banning the characters that were creating this issue.
But it looks like their solution is just an insta-win team. Yeah. Like the Geonosians, man, they can pretty much beat anyone with the bonuses they have now. If they're fast enough, it's just game over.
Hey, it's not a bad thing. It goes through and kind of adds a different strategy to the walls. Hey,
it does, yeah, absolutely.
And requires them and gets guilds to actually go through and spend gear on different characters that may not be meta. So because otherwise you ban those characters, all they do is shift to different teams that are meta or very good, and they would have completely ignored Geonosians, clones, but by giving them bonuses, people are actually going to put more gear towards those factions. Otherwise, they would have been ignored completely.
Right. I mean, you have a Cup that's beaten Nest. Yeah, people are going to gear up Cup.
That's right. And
a quick pro tip on the Geonosians: do not preload turn meter on them. If you're losing a match against them,
get out.
Turn your phone off, snap it over your leg, throw it in a river, do whatever you got to do. Because if those guys go in with a preloaded turn meter, that's a wrap.
You might not care because you won't be going up against them again. But your guildmates, you better hide in a very deep and dark cave to get away from your guildmates as they try to go through and get past the preloaded Geonosian team.
Yeah, because they got I can't talk. They've got the artillery thing. If it's on cooldown, you go in and their first move kills two of your characters, man, you're done. And they're going to go again and reset that cooldown, so they're going to go even faster.
Yep.
This is bad news.
Yeah, so this is kind of where I wanted to go through and point out what I was talking about, more of the calendar part. So they made a comment that, which I do like, there's going to be more Grand Arena. So they're going to add a third event for Grand Arena. It looks like it's going to be consistently 3 every month, which perfectly happy about. It's a lot. Grand Arena is a lot of fun. It's not huge time commitment, and you can go through and play when you have time. But in this, they made a comment that they were able to figure out a, I guess, technical glitch on their side, that they were able to run 2 events at the same time now to be able to make this happen, which I guess this is why it didn't happen to begin with. I didn't realize this was even a problem until they mentioned it here.
Yeah, they ran into another bug with the 2 events so close to each other. The first Grand Arena, we ended up with only 1 hour to get in and actually sign up, and I wasn't able to. And a lot of our guildmates weren't as well, so they had to scrap that one.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was a 1 hour preview window or if it was a full 24-hour window, but it never popped up that an event was going on, so you had to go through and manually go into Grand Arena to sign up for it.
You couldn't, because it was still showing the review from the last one. You had you had 1 hour where it wasn't, before it started, where it wasn't showing the review period.
Okay, I got tagged on Discord and I didn't realize what was going on. They're like, make sure you sign up for Grand Arena, and I'm like, oh, okay, and just clicked it and didn't think anything of it. So that makes more sense. That's
what happened there. Okay. Another thing they mentioned too is with the 3 Grand Arenas, they're going to have to balance the rewards out to accommodate that. So we'll probably get a little less rewards per time, but
well, no, they said they were already balanced out. So that one where we went through and messed up the Grand Arena preview, after that one go through, the one we're currently in is the new rewards, and it seems like they're just going to go through and shift it from, I mean, we might still get some gear occasionally. It's going to be scaled down a little bit, but the main thing is going to be the mod salvage, to go through and get those 6 mods. It seems like going to be the main bonus for winning and advancing in Grand Arena, and that they made a comment that mods are playing more and more of a critical aspect in Grand Arena to define player benefit. And I'm seeing that also. So having different ways to farm more mod salvage and actually get up those mods to actually be more competitive is a good way, and I kind of like that compromise. Yeah,
that makes sense to me too. Let's see, what else? We got that Droideka raid bug.
Yeah.
In there.
This reasoning was interesting. Basically, they went through and said, when you go through and isolate basically a character in Phase 3, it basically sets Trey's speed to negative 3,000 something for some odd reason rather than just 0. And Droideka's damage is based on a certain percentage of speed of the opponents or something like that. So basically it was just going through and ramping up his damage so times 3,000 something because of this. So basically they just reverted that back down to basically like 0 or -1, just the bare minimum to be able to go through, and their reasoning behind it was even better. They went through and set this at negative 3,000 in case there was any unintentional interaction of characters that may or may not happen. Apparently, the interactions that were happening was because they were trying to prevent interactions from happening.
All right. It's funny. It's been fixed, and it really only impacted people with 7-star droidekas, so very few.
Yeah, very few, and if they were impacted, it wasn't... They're impacting guilds getting higher scores of guilds that were already completing the Sith raid in plenty of time, so nothing major there. Now, that leads us to what we mentioned before, the end of quarter blowout, which last month, and this is the 4th quarter for CG and EA. So they had the C-3PO event, the Thrawn event's coming out, Chimera's coming out. That's why we're saying seems like there's going to be a brand new event here at the end of the month to ramp up that spending again to kind of close out the quarter strong for CG.
Yeah, I think so. We're kind of mid-cycle for a lot of the other heroes' journeys, so we're not going to get Luke or Rey anytime soon, probably not Emperor. So yeah, it's got to be something new.
Yeah, I honestly, going through, other than maybe the Sith ships, there's really not anything out there that I would say is out there as far as another event that they're working up towards. Because
Chewbacca may come back relatively soon.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about brand new events, I should say.
Right, yeah.
Where I don't see anything new characters that came out that are alluding to a new event or anything like that. These Old Republic characters seem like the next event to come out, and I don't see anything other than possibly, like I said, the Sith ships being a faction or something that's set up for a new event.
You know, speaking of new events, I just had this thought. I'd like to see a assault battle for ships. You know, a 7-battle ship-based assault battle.
Yeah, hey, maybe you can get your Omegas there.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be a bad idea, but either way, it seems like we're in a kind of a lull. We're wrapping up these last couple events, and I don't see anything currently on the horizon, unless it's an older faction like Bounty Hunters or Ewoks needing a very gear-heavy event, which could be. Don't get me wrong, that could always happen. Clones could be needed. I don't know who
Tuskens.
else, but Tuskens maybe. Yeah, maybe more Jedi. Something like that. But we went through, now that we're speaking of possible new events coming out, there was some data mine information into this new update. Some of it we knew about, some of it we didn't. It basically saw like a good portion of this was the quality of life that they hinted towards. The raid simming, some of the raid simming options for the Rancor were in there, which we do know about. That is coming here shortly. I'm really excited to see what the rewards are looking like for that, and I'm hoping it's close to what I was been saying and wanting for a while, that I'm going to get guild currency so I can buy the gear that I want, is the main hope for me. But other than that, they went through and had some information about how you had the buff reduction, like the descriptions in there, and they did allude to that was basically in preparation for the quality of life for the buff reduction happening. The fin fix, it wasn't in the data mine, but that is something else in the in the quality of life that I would imagine be happening. And the last thing, there was some data mine information on it. Basically, the new squad management that was happening, in which you can go through and set it your screen, and it's going to go through and stop as soon as you select a team. It's going to basically eliminate those characters. That way you can actually see whether you have them for like territory wars or territory battles. Right. You don't have any duplicate characters in a squad or in your selections anymore. Which some people,
like a raid lineup would be good too.
Yeah, some people are going to like that. Some people aren't. I'm not sure if there's a toggle for it to be on and off. I do like that because I want to go through territory wars or territory battles and just go boom, boom, boom. I know what squads I'm going to be using and kind of pre-plan. And a lot of times I'll duplicate characters, not realizing they're in different squads.
Yeah, there was also some mentions of a 4v4 version of Grand Arena, which could be pretty fun.
Not as exciting as a 6v6 with dual leaders.
Yeah, that would be insane.
I'm going to keep throwing that out there until it happens, you know? The power of persuasion, right? Keep mentioning it, and it will happen. Kind of like this next thing that was kind of in there.
Yeah, it had some string in there mentioning officer choice for territory battles. And we kind of read this a few different ways. The thing I want this to be is a new territory battle map where we launch a territory battle kind of like raids. You get your tickets, and officers decide, hey, do we want, which one do we want to do? Do we still have players that need, Imperial probe droid or Leia, or do we want to go after the new stuff?
Yeah, it could be difficulty too. Going through, it could be a 24-hour sign-up period in which an officer has to choose one or the other. But yeah, either way, it does allude to our year-long quest and prediction of a, Geonosian territory battle map for Clone Wars?
Yes. One day it will happen.
We were only a year early, I swear. We were on point, but KOTOR got in the way.
That's it. Damn you, KOTOR.
That's right. The other option, which we kind of talked about and we've heard rumblings about, where that CG was asking players and guilds how to improve territory battles, because that 24-hour review period, especially for larger guilds that can go through max out 45 stars, 48 stars, man, it is a grind, and it's very hard to get player engagement into those battles anymore, in which they can speed it up, at least for the first 3 or 4 rounds, in which they can do their battles, get the stars, and progress on quicker. And that could be a string code basically saying officer's choice to advance based on current player involvement. Hey, you hit 3 stars, you can skip to the next day, and basically that's all the special missions you're going to get for the day. I'm hoping it's a new territory battle map and not something as simple as, hey, you can just go through and go to the next phase a little bit earlier.
Yeah, and even if we don't get the payout until the same time everybody else does, just getting it done and out of the way so we can focus on other things, that would be great.
Yep. And I think that's all the 2 weeks worth of news that we have. So we can get into
we're in exciting times. We should have quality of life coming up soon, a new legendary journey event soon, maybe a new territory battle map. Some meta changes, so hold on to your butts.
Yeah, hopefully meta changes. Man.
Yeah, let's hope so.
80% is rough.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah, not really much as far as a marquee watch. The only thing that got added on there was B1 in the Droideka, and that just happened, so nothing major looking at that.
Yeah, it's been kind of an odd change, not having to update this chart every week or two.
Yeah, we were up to like 10 characters in this between ships and characters, so it's an odd, and that's kind of why I went through and made the point that doesn't seem like there's much set up currently for a new like legendary event, so it does seem like it would shift towards a territory battle or raid or something along those lines, since they don't have anything to actually panic farm for.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Once the KOTOR stuff is gone, we don't have the Darth Revan stuff to speculate about anymore. We'll have to latch on to some other new thing. I guess maybe Jedi Luke might be the next one.
No, we're gonna latch onto our territory battles. Got to get updated, right? We have the next one.
We're gonna get TB.
That's right. Get TB. So speaking of TB, who you bumping and grinding on to get ready for it?
I'm hoarding. I'm saving up all my stuff, thinking back up to 9 Carbantes, 3 stun guns, and a bunch of other stuff here and there, just waiting to drop it.
Oh, that is absolutely amazing. You go through, spend everything on those droids and Grievous, and you complain about wasting all your gear, and you're back up to that many Carbantes. Oh, man.
Yeah, those raise surprisingly fast. Another thing I'm starting to do now is save the guild event tokens. I expect us to get a new character in that shop whenever we get a new territory battle map, so I'm wanting to have enough to go ahead and buy a character as soon as it drops. So I've been saving my last few territory battle payouts. I have enough to at least unlock it when it drops.
Man, you are a better man than me right there, because I am not doing that at all. I am going through, and like I said, I finished up the couple teams that I wanted to finish up. The next big thing was kind of the bounty hunters, but holding off. And I needed something to work on. So what I've been doing is I have a lot of characters at Gear 12. Do have some of the miscellaneous Gear 12 pieces on them. But really working on my crucial teams, getting the Gear 12 and Gear 12 Plus pieces on that I can. Getting them on the characters, because I'm discovering I have a lot of the salvage, but the purple pieces, whether it's a stun gun or Carbante, those med packs that I'm missing is the only reason I'm not putting them or they aren't available to equip on characters currently. So farming those up, spending those guild event currency tokens to buy those, to try to get them on teams, like finishing out my Revan team, finishing out the last one or two pieces I actually need on my Treya team, putting them on the last piece on Nest, wanting to put them on some more on my Bounty Hunter team, putting them on CLS, JTR, trying to get these upper end teams that are crucial everywhere and getting those last couple pieces just to kind of get some of the RNG out of and mod dependency off of some of those teams.
That's not a bad move. I do suffer in Grand Arena mostly Grand Arena, especially 3v3, because my game philosophy is I get a 90% solution for most events. I get 4 characters maxed out, and my last one I'll leave at gear 11, maybe even gear 11 with one piece on it, and never finish it out. So a lot of my teams are at 90%. That's easy to hide in a raid. That's easy to hide in PvE. You can't get away with that in Grand Arena, especially at my bracket. So it's hurting me there, and I would love to spend a lot of this stuff, but I gotta stay strong. You know, I'm sacrificing some of the payouts and rewards, but I just gotta accept that.
Yeah, but I'm kind of focused on that, and I might not do it for the whole team, but like CLS, I want to get him completely maxed out. JTR completely maxed out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I went through and put the last Gear 12 plus piece on Boss, so I have Boss other than his second Zeta completely maxed out, because having that fast Boss makes those bounty hunters very difficult. Just whether it might not be the whole team, but the critical characters. Grandmaster Yoda is another one. I want to get that last piece of Gear 12 plus on him. Nest, I do have one Gear 12 piece. I want that second piece on her. I'm trying to think of another character that would benefit. Maybe Raid Han and Chewbacca maybe would be another one that would be a very good candidate for that Gear 12 plus. BB-8.
Oh, yeah.
It's just little characters like that. And then the next characters that I'd be thinking about adding those on are kind of the oddball teams that people get caught up on. I was actually considering putting them on, say, Mission and Zalbar, just to really throw people off, having them quicker and hitting harder.
Yeah, I may end up doing that Karth Mission Zalbar team at some point.
But, yeah, so, I mean, that's where I'm focused right now until I can focus down onto a new team or a couple new characters that I want, like Jedi with Ayla Secura or Old Ben, and just kind of filling out those full teams at Gear 12 and not have those one or two characters at Gear 10 or Gear 11 for Grand Arena. But other than that, so you finished up Johanny. I am not. I am at 18 of 85, buying a couple refreshes a day for her. Yeah, it's going to be tight. It's going to be very tight for Johanny for our anticipated event date.
Yeah.
Cantina just working away in Aura very slowly, not really concerned about it. 9 of 85. Was tempted to switch over to Sith Marauder, but I'm going to take his monthly shards and carry him over and kind of wrap that up even quicker. So happy about that. And then Karth. Karth is sitting at 58 of 65. So I'm anticipating having to spend some crystals to get him up, but I'm not anticipating actually that many. I don't think I'm going to have to buy any Gambler packs. I think I'm just going to be needing those the weekly shipment purchase and a couple of the daily shipments that are in there for like the 16 shards for, what are they? 1600?
It's 80 a shard. So
okay.
It's 1260, I think.
Yeah. So I might have to purchase a few of those, but what I'm saying, it's within grasp. It's not like
it's not unreachable.
Yeah, it's not like Jedi Knight Revan where it would have been a couple $100 to be able to get them. I'm literally thinking you're down into a couple, like $20, and I would have enough crystals to be able to purchase him at this point in time.
I did buy a couple of packs for him, so I'm at 89 of 100. Again, I was anticipating the event starting this week, so whatever.
Yep, I was always looking at it that if I'm going to farm as much as I can, as soon as I get a date, then I will figure out how many crystal packs I'm actually going to need, because if I buy them early and the event comes later, I'm wasting crystals, where the other way, basically, I'm just going through. I would have spent those crystals earlier anyway, so
yeah,
it is what it is. So, for less than the price of your brand new Ebon Hawk, you can get a delicious fresh cup of coffee from Starbucks every morning.
You could if you had a Starbucks in your town. Mine does not, and it's the saddest thing in the world.
And I'm sure you yell at the trees every day because of that.
I do. Yeah.
And the pollen's going to happen, and the trees are going to get the brunt of that too.
Bad news all around.
It's a bad time to be around Stan as the spring pollen hits.
That's it.
So before that hits, let's wrap it up and get on out of here.
All right. Y'all know the deal. I think every podcast in the history of podcasts say this. Leave us a review on iTunes or your podcast server of choice. It helps us grow and show up in other searches. We always want more listeners. Y'all make doing this fun. We like interacting with you, so you can email us at cantinavisla@gmail.com, or better yet, find us on Discord. We've got a lot of new members showing up. Get the conversation going. You can find us on thealliancegaming.com with all kinds of other great content creators. And if so inclined, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/cantinavisla. Tip jar is out. We appreciate your support.
Yeah, definitely find us on Discord. Always enjoy people dropping in. Love having conversations with everybody throughout the day about the game and just some random Star Wars or just random life. It's always a good time. We do tend to focus a little bit more on the game, which is always fun, and we're more than happy to answer any questions anybody has. So let's get on out of here. Have a good week, guys, and 1 week closer to the end of KOTOR, right?
That's it. Yep.
Later, guys.
As you are exiting the cantina, we would like to say thanks for stopping by, and we hope to see you out on the holo table soon.